Sophia here for my great challenge. Welcome back to my channel and my holiday baking series. Today at Scott's request I'm making pumpkin pie, but I'm adding another recipe, so there's going to be 2-for-1 recipes today. I am making a classic pumpkin pie, which is, as you know, one of the staple for Thanksgiving dinner, but I'm also making pumpkin bars, and those are going to be a little bit special today. It's vegan, gluten-free pumpkin bars. So if you are gluten intolerant and you are a vegetarian or a vegan, this has a gluten-free flour and gluten-free oats, and it also has a dairy-free or plant-based cream cheese. But that's the second recipe. First, pumpkin pie. In order to get myself ahead, I already prepared the dough and it's been in the fridge. I made it this morning. It's the same recipe that I did in the last video. The link is on the channel. It's basically a pie dough with lots of butter in it to make it fluffy. And instead of pre-rolling it, I just made a big disc out of it so that I just basically roll it once. So let's get started. What are the ingredients for classic pumpkin pie? Here we go. So I got this recipe from Betty Crocker's website, by the way, and I will link it down below. So first things first, of course, you need your dough. You can buy the dough already made at the supermarket, or you can make ahead, which is what I've done. And for the pie filling, you're going to need 2 eggs. So these are grade A eggs. You'll need a half a cup of sugar. You need a can of evaporated milk. 15 ounces of pumpkin puree. Don't get the pumpkin pie mix, get the pumpkin puree, because the pie mix already has all of the spices in it. And then for the dry ingredients, you're going to need a half a teaspoon of salt, a half a teaspoon of ground ginger, a full teaspoon of ground cinnamon, and then this dark one on the other side is a 1/8 of a teaspoon of ground cloves. So for this recipe, we start with the oven at 425, and we're going to bake the pie initially for 15 minutes, and then we'll reduce it to 350. So my oven right now is at 425. First, I'm going to whisk my eggs. So I'm going to put my 2 eggs in a bowl and use a metal whisk and whisk them away. And once my eggs are beat, I'm going to add the rest of my ingredients. So let's start with the evaporated milk, then my pumpkin puree. And by the way, if you buy the big cans and you have leftovers and you have dogs, they absolutely love pumpkin, and it's very healthy for them. And once this is mixed together, I'm just going to go ahead and add my dry ingredients. And again, that's salt, cinnamon, cloves, and ginger. And then finally, I'm adding my half a cup of sugar. And that's it, the pie mix is done. All I have to do now is roll my dough, place it on my pie dish, and throw it in the oven, and that's it. Pumpkin pie is super easy to make. So once the pie dough is ready, I'm just going to go ahead and pour my pie filling. So what I'm going to do first is cover the edges of my pie with aluminum foil so that it doesn't burn. But eventually, just like last week when I did the apple pie with cranberry, I'll remove the aluminum foil. And you don't want to press too hard because otherwise the edges get stuck to the pie dish. I'll remove the aluminum foil, put some egg over it. And this is really just to protect the edges of my pie. So in the oven it goes, first 15 minutes at 425 and then the rest at 350. So I know that this time of year it's super easy to go to the store and buy your own pumpkin pie, but you see that it really takes no work whatsoever to make a pumpkin pie. Okay, so if you want to impress your family this year, make your own pumpkin pie and bring it over. And again, you can buy the dough pre-made. You don't have to make your own dough. So it's been 15 minutes. I'm going to stop my timer and I'm going to reduce this to 350. And now it has to go for 45 minutes. Okay, 45 minutes, 15 minutes before the end, I'll remove the foil and then I'll put the egg on the edges to get it to golden. And then the pie then has to sit for at least 30 minutes to cool down and then 4 hours in the fridge and you're done. So I'm almost done here. I have 15 more minutes left. So what I'm going to do is take that out, remove my aluminum foil, and I'm going to add egg on the edges here of my pie so that that stays in the oven, but it's gonna get a little bit golden. Goes back in here for 15 minutes. Okay, the pie is done. Let me take it out. Ah, look at this. All right, so it's gotta stay for a good half an hour. Alright, doing something a little bit different. I am making pumpkin bars, gluten-free and vegan. So there's no butter, there is no flour, and whatever I'm using is going to be gluten-free. So the main ingredients are going to be gluten-free oat flour. I'm using coconut oil. And for the pie filling, instead of using the Carnation evaporated milk, I'm using Go Veggie type, this is Kite Hill actually, cream cheese, which is made out of plain almond milk. It is dairy free. You can also find one that's cashew. So first things first, ingredients for the crust. And that recipe, by the way, is just a mishmash of a bunch of other recipes that I found on the internet, so this is pretty much my own. You need a half a cup of pecan that I'm going to ground for to make like a thick flour. This is a half a cup of my oat flour right here. And I got the red meal, the Bob's red meal. I'm going to use 3 tablespoons of coconut oil, which I'm going to melt, and 3 tablespoons of generic maple syrup. And the first order of business is to chop my pecan. That looks about right. So next I'm taking my coconut oil and I'm going to put 3 tablespoons. Here's 1, 2, 3, and that's going to go in the microwave and I'm going to melt it. And in a bowl I'm going to mix my oat flour, my chopped pecan, melted coconut oil and 3 tablespoons of maple syrup. And that's going to basically make a crust. So I'm going to take one of my Corningware here, and because that's a 8 by 8, that's perfect. I'm going to grease the bottom part of it with coconut oil, because remember, we're not using any butter for this one. And then what I'm going to do is take this semi-crust thing here that I made, and I'm going to flatten it at the bottom. And then this pie crust has to cook for 15 minutes at 350. So I'm going to put it in the oven because my pie is done. And while this is in there for 15 minutes, I'm going to prepare the filling for the pumpkin bars. For my filling, I need 2 cups of pumpkin mix. I need 1 cup of vegan cream cheese, a half a cup of brown sugar. This is 2 tablespoons of maple syrup. I have a teaspoon of cinnamon, a teaspoon of ginger, and a 1/4 of a teaspoon of nutmeg. And this is 1 teaspoon of vanilla. And I'm shamelessly going to reuse the same bowl I had for the crust. I'm going to mix all my ingredients together. Okay, 15 minutes on the crust. That's all I need. It's gonna go back in once I have the filling, but you want to pre-cook the crust basically. So all I have to do now is take my pie filling and pour it over the crust. Now this goes back in the oven for 15 minutes, and my oven is at 350, by the way. Same temperature that I had the pumpkin pie. Okay, bake 15 minutes, gives me time to prepare the topping. So this is going to bake for 15 minutes, and during that 15 minutes, I know the lighting is terrible, it's getting dark outside. I'm going to prepare the topping, which is basically oats, pecan, and a little bit of oat flour and some maple syrup and a little bit of coconut oil. So for my topping, I need the equivalent of 1.5 cups of pecan, I'm using gluten-free oat, old-fashioned oat, and I need just about 1/4 of a cup, the equivalent of about 1/4 of a cup of brown sugar, about 2 tablespoons of gluten-free oat flour, 1 tablespoon of maple syrup, and the final ingredient is 2 tablespoons of melted coconut oil. another spoon for that. My pecan mix. It's easier with another spoon. Okay, 25 more minutes. Then it has to cool off or cool down, and you can eat it cold or slightly warm if you want. So here we go, 25 minutes. So what do you think so far? That looks pretty good, right? The pumpkin pie is ready to go in the fridge. It's gonna cool down for another 3.5 hours. It needs to kind of like congeal a little bit, or set. That's probably a better word. And then this one has to be in there for 25 minutes and cool down, and then put in the fridge again. You can eat it, so then you got to cut it in pieces, and you know, it's like a bar basically. I'm really intrigued by this one. I have to tell you, vegan and gluten-free. Okay, that sounds super healthy, right? But this is loaded with sugar. There's actually more sugar and fat from the coconut oil in the gluten-free vegan bars than there is in the actual pumpkin pie. Imagine that. So just a heads up, vegan gluten-free doesn't necessarily mean healthier, okay? I'm going to wear it on my hips probably for the next month or so, until I decide that I have enough of getting fat and sassy and need to lose some weight again, because you've noticed I'm regaining it, right? And I cannot blame the thyroid meds this time around. I'm gonna have to blame me for gorging on carbs and sugar for the past, well, since we got back from Boston, basically. All right, I'm gonna put that in the fridge. I'm gonna do my dishes. Oh, by the way, that cream cheese, vegan cream cheese, I don't know. It's it tastes like cream cheese, but it's so light compared to the good old fat cream cheese. But I wanted to make a recipe that was also for some of you who are really gluten-free and really vegan and plant-based. So this is a plant-based recipe. The second one, not the first one, obviously. I'll see you in a bit when I'm ready to take that one out of the oven and when we're ready to taste. It smells wonderful. So this is going to cool down on the stove for about 30 minutes. Then I'll put it in the fridge. The pumpkin pie here needs to go into the fridge. And then when you see me again, we'll have the whole family try it. Okay, here's yours, Dad. All right, so mine, I'm only having a little bit of the pumpkin pie because we have Indian food tonight, and I want to...
Where's the whipped cream?
You have whipped cream. You want more?
Just kidding.
So just a word of advice. When you make pumpkin pie for Thanksgiving, you want to make it the day before, okay? You come over here. You want to make it the day before so that it sets. Mine is still a little soft. By tomorrow, it will be totally set and perfect. So we're gonna try the pumpkin pie first. How's the pumpkin pie, Willie?
I've only had this one.
Oh, you had the bar? Okay, pumpkin pie.
Good stuff.
Classic.
Yeah.
But like I said in the last video, pumpkin pie is one of those things where I can only have one slice. I can't have two. Can you have two in a row?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I get saturated on the spices and stuff. Alright, so that's the pumpkin pie. It's really good. The dough is great. And then this is the pumpkin bar that's gluten-free and vegan.
Vegan.
Oh wow.
It's not bad. But I gotta tell you, the pumpkin pie,
It's really good.
yeah.
I like that better actually.
You like it better? Mm-hmm. I like the pumpkin pie better.
Because it's got crunch.
I like the crunch though.
What?
Wait, what's that?
What?
Oh, the shirt?
Oh, stop.
Yeah, this was put together by an award-winning designer whose work has been seen nationally. You want to know where to get? Oh, if there's a link down below, you can get a shirt just like this.
You notice that he wears his shirt like almost every day. Okay, so pumpkin pie, grade.
Oh, grade?
Mm-hmm.
A.
A?
Yeah.
Okay. Willie, pumpkin pie?
B plus.
B plus?
It needs to be harder.
It needs to be harder, so it'll be an A tomorrow?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Okay. I give the pumpkin pie an A, and I give the pumpkin bar, an A plus.
Really?
Yeah. I like it much better. It has less spices to it. You notice, right? You taste the pumpkin.
Because I would give it a B plus, but
Really?
Yeah.
So I like it better. Okay, so this was my holiday baking pumpkin pie and pumpkin pecan bar that's gluten-free and dairy-free. I hope you enjoyed the recipes. They're super easy. Next week is the start of the Christmas season. So I was thinking about doing something with peppermint.
peppermint bark. Really?
Do you want me to make peppermint bark?
No.
I'll try. I've never made it before, so I'll try. So something with peppermint. I just don't know what it is. So until then, give me a thumbs up if you like this video. Don't forget to subscribe right here in the corner. You can check out my great challenge gift on Etsy for t-shirts and mugs. And my other Etsy shop. Find me on Instagram and Facebook and my great challenge. And I will see you next week. Thanks for watching. Bye. Hey, it's me. And guess what? Click that thumbs up if you really like this video. Thumbs down twice if you didn't. You can also share my video if you really liked it or save it to watch later. Also, you can subscribe to my channel, but don't forget to click that bell button so you are always notified when I post a new video. Thank you for watching.